What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you on what the data is saying about EVs and why, especially with Lucid starting the peer, is a very good time to invest in Lucid. So I'm going to go over all the stuff you need to know. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And without further ado, let's get right to it. So market just opened roughly about 30 minutes ago. It is starting to sell off a little bit, and this is because of just broader fears and also a little bit more with Tesla and their recall. But still, outside of that, based on Bear's Workshop, it goes to show that the peers are in fact being manufactured and hopefully delivered very soon. Which of course, basically since I think it is Q2 of 2022, we've known that majority of the reservations are linked to the peer. So that is what the market wants. So the fact that Lucid is actually going to be starting to capitalize on that is huge. And like I have been always bringing up in the past, I love stats. So looking at the stats based on 2022, so I do believe this is completed as of, and it does incorporate both November and December, but it is massive. And this is on a global scale. And I bring up the global aspect because I do believe Lucid is going to be going to China and basically hitting all the right demand areas in the world, as I brought up. So as you can see right here, this is just more of a comparison between 2022 and 2021, but Europe has massive demand. Of course, Lucid is really developing there as well. China, definitely that might be coming mid-decade maybe. We'll hopefully find out a little bit more information on the upcoming Q4 earnings. And then North America. I think North America really surprised a lot of individuals because the overall demand wasn't necessarily there, which goes to show that all the studios in the States are actually doing what they're intended. As I've mentioned, I think there's a very good correlation with the number of reservations initially and also the actual studio. So I think in general, them expanding the studios to Europe, for instance, and who knows where else, I think is a very positive sign. But outside of that, though, I'm sure you all know now the PIF did in fact increase their position by 9% in Lucid. This was technically disclosed, I think, on December the 22nd, but was more so announced in November. But at the end of the day, for having the 13F come down the pipeline to validate that is always a very good thing. And it goes to show that behind the scenes that Lucid is a very good force to be reckoned with. And in general, though, maybe they actually anticipate this as well, but there's a lot of upside. So it's very advantageous to buy at the bottom. Of course, nobody necessarily ever knows when the bottom is because there's typically a lot of blood, which unfortunately does deter a lot of individuals to really buy in. But based on this projection, it does show Lucid 1 year from now being at roughly about $18, give or take. So the fact that it is at $10.49 right now, that's a pretty good return on investment if you want to consider it that way. And it goes to show 5 years out being $80. I think that's a little bit low in my opinion, but still $18, I think a lot of you would very much take that if it was 1 year out. But of course, we did kind of have that spike to around $18 in general once that rumor was brought up, which of course is mentioned in this article. So it talks on and gives you a good summary of basically how the PIF is really involved in that, talks on the overall rumor about potentially buying out Lucid or the remainder of the stock, or at least takeovers. But in general, hopefully we do hear from the upcoming Q4 earnings about that rumor as well. And I do believe that's actually the most trending retail question that's out there. So I think Lucid will be forced to ask that. And in general, I think, like I said, I think that's a good thing going forward. I'll give you a quick summary because outside of just this and speculation, there is actually no known news. Of course, a lot of investors can piece together a lot of things such as the peer and just how successful 2023 is going to be. But outside of that, it's just technical. So right now, I'll give you a quick summary. So this is based on yesterday, so Thursday's volume. You do see a little bit more mix. This one is an odd one though. So a lot of calls being purchased right here, roughly about almost $689,000 worth of premiums just on puts. So clearly someone behind the scenes is betting on it going down potentially, and earnings are only a few days away, so that's maybe concerning, maybe something coming up, who knows at the end of the day. And when it comes down to this, I'll just give you a quick update on what is happening on the dark pool. Fairly quiet, and keep in mind it's Friday, so typically it is a little bit more quieter. But still, even when it comes down to the dark pool though, it's hard to see if these are buys or sells because it doesn't actually list anything such as the bid or the ask. Versus when it comes down to this, so the secondary market, it goes to show you can easily see bid and ask and see exactly what it was. So for instance, this latest one, 529,000, since it was sold at $10.50, the bid at the time was $10.50. That is a very good indication that most likely it was a sale. But as you can see, there was some pretty big money getting in first thing, so 2.28 million, and once again, you can kind of tell that was a buy. So it's a little bit more mixed. Nobody necessarily knows exactly where the upcoming earnings are going to land. But generally speaking, I think that there is going to be a little bit more positive aspects to that, hopefully being able to cause it to go up. But I will quickly pop back over to Ortex and give you a quick summary on exactly what is happening with shorts. So short score is currently 82, and that has gone down a little bit. The higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening. Utilization is 100%. As far as what shorts are doing, they're increasing 4.14 million shares. So shorts are really doubling down. And so I don't know why they're trying to do that on a Friday, but who knows? Maybe they're trying to add a little bit more fear and ingrain some fear with Lucid right before their earnings. Short interest, which is a percentage of the free float, is 21.3%, and cost to borrow has been going down a little bit, so it's 13.5%. But outside of that though, I love the technicals. Technicals can scrape away all the BS and it tells you exactly what the data is saying. Stochastic is considered very much oversold. So it is at 24. Number of retail investors over the last couple of days just got out. And this is because of the whole Tesla recall right here. So in reality, I think that's a little bit more of a precursor why retail maybe just got spooked. But it seems to be so far going back up a little bit today. On the actual chart though, it is exactly at the central boiling band and also the 100-day moving average. So in general, a very good support. So right now, most likely what's going to be happening is, in my opinion at least, because of FOMO leading into the earnings, there might be a quick bounce higher into this range right here. So it might trade between roughly around the $13 to $10.50 or 10 around this range. So again, that could be wrong. I'm not a financial advisor, so make sure you guys do your own due diligence at the end of the day. I think a lot of people are just very much excited for this upcoming earnings because, in my opinion, like I already mentioned, I think there is going to be a lot more positive things that is said, but there still will be some negatives. And in reality, this might be the last earnings to have almost any bad aspect to it. So again, that might be a very positive sign to that. And of course, then that just might project it to around this range, so the $18 range by the end of the year. Or who knows where it might be. It might be at 20s, 30s. Who knows at the end. But let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below. Give yourself a shout out in the comments below as well if you have been buying or where you see things going for at least Lucid leading up to the earnings. Do you think it's going to go back down to 6? I see a lot of people in the comments on a lot of my videos saying it's going to go back down to 6, 7, 8, things like that. Whereas in reality, it could go very much on a positive aspect. So go to 15, who knows at the end. But I think in reality, it will also very much depend on this rumor. Because of course, Lucid will be really tied down and forced to answer this one question about the Saudi PIF, if they are going to be taking over or have any intention on taking over the remaining shares of Lucid to take it private. So I think in general, that might be the kryptonite that does either cause it to go up, down, sideways. Because of course, if they actually do say yes, then now it begs the question, what price? What price? Is it going to be $60 a share, 13, 100? Like, again, it's a lot of randomness in that. So let me know your thoughts on all of that in the comments below. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. You guys, make sure you guys have a good weekend as well, and let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.